Hey everybody, it's the Mad Matcher here. Today I'm doing a video about the concept of selfishness and how it applies to what's going on right now in the world and what people are accusing people of, and not really seeing the big picture. Now, I'm not going to say a lot in this video about what exactly the crisis I'm talking about is, but you could probably guess, and highly recommend Matt Taibbi's recent articles about some of these things. So early on, there's been within this crisis, there's been a lot of talk about people being selfish, and it's been extremely inconsistent how people are labeling other people as selfish. So first of all, if you didn't stay home locked in your house, you were seen as selfish. But then the people calling people selfish flipped that around and said, no, go outside and do certain things because it's more important than whether or not you're selfish. Then, all of a sudden, you're selfish if you wear this magical cloth over your face. You're not selfish if you're selfless if you wear this magical cloth that's supposed to be this magical, totemistic, religious, quasi-religious thing that you're supposed to wear. And if you don't wear that, you're selfish. And then there's something else that's happening right now. And if you don't do this, you're selfish. Now, who the fuck is anybody to call anybody selfish? For one, many of the people calling people selfish are readily supporting people getting drone bombed on a regular basis, are typing the shit on their phones, which are made by questionable to illicitly bad labor practices at the worst. At least, I mean, almost, depends on what you're talking about, of course. And support a system that's been selfish, America, for their whole lives. So who is, by whose standard is someone selfish? And now we're being told these things are selfish, and then at the same time, if you do this thing, it's not going to matter anyways, right? So who the fuck are these people? How are you going to convince people to do something if you call them selfish, call them evil, call them this or that, or dumb or nuts? I refuse to comply with that. Call me selfish. Go ahead. I'm selfish, right? Because I don't want to comply with everything that people are telling me to do. But this concept of selfishness in regards to everything, it's so ridiculous. Because at the end of the day, who are the ones that are being selfish? The ones that supported the largest upwards transfer of wealth through history, or the person just trying to make their living that happens to not be able to afford quarantining because they have a fucking babysitter that they have to depend on to go to their job, or they're serving the Karen that lives in the Hamptons and they happen to have their mask slip off or whatever. Fuck you. Tell me about selfish then. Tell me about selfish. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to be selfish because everybody else is fucking selfish. Everyone is selfish to some extent. So all this talk of selfishness, whatever, I don't care. I don't care because you can call me selfish, call other people selfish. That's not going to do anything. You're not helping by calling people selfish. You're only making the matters worse. And yeah, I'm selfish, like most people in America or human beings are to some extent. Everything's done as a selfish act to some extent. I mean, I hate to quote, what's her name back there? You probably see the book on my thumb. Ayn Rand. But yeah, there is a selfishness that is apparent. It is self-evident. And there's a narcissism too, to many things that are many people. But before you call someone selfish, why don't you take a look in the fucking mirror? You know, look in the mirror and see what you've done wrong, what you have done, you know, incorrectly. Now, if someone was calling people selfish and they volunteer for the Peace Corps, they ride a bike to work, they don't consume hardly at all, they voted for the Green Party every election, yeah, that's one thing. But the people usually calling people selfish in this crisis, in this instance, are neoliberal, corporatist, conformist, upper middle class fucking white people that want to implement all these things forever, it seems like, all these restrictions and stuff, because they have this virtuous cause that they've been indoctrinated to go for. So before you call me selfish, why don't you look in the fucking mirror? That's all.